Hello, everybody. Live from Koreatown, it is the Brothers Miller, and you're in the OZone. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a while. We took August off. We had to work on our tans. I know what you're saying. And no, we don't use suntan lotion. But so why are we in the OZone? Are you ready? We're back. Back by popular demand. It is the OZone. We're ready to go, folks. There's a lot of stuff that's happened. A whole lot of stuff that's taken place over the month of August. We've had trades. We've had fights. Katzen got knocked out.
That sounds like all in your life.
Hey, dude. I'm living the dream, all right? Keep it low. So let's jump right into it. You know, our favorite game is baseball, and we're just going to fire it up for you. We got a lot to cover, so we got to pick up the pace today. The new power rankings came out, T-Bone Aroni.
And what are they looking like?
And you know what? They have the Yankees extraordinarily high.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I think they've won 15 of the last 22 or 23 or something like that.
But you should look at the quality of opponent. They haven't really torn down the doors with battling quality opponents.
Yeah, I mean, you know, they beat who they're supposed to beat, put it like that. And
they do and they don't, because Tampa Bay gives them a real problem, although Tampa Bay gave
Tampa
Boston
Bay has given everybody a problem lately. Tampa Bay is surprisingly competitive, and I would say, given their team, he shouldn't win it, but their coach has got to be up for, manager of the year.
Yeah, well, their ERA, I do believe, is like third or fourth. Maybe they're in the top five.
They're in the top five. They've won 8 straight. These guys.
This is their starting rotation, though. They're in the top 5, and that's just because it's an unorthodox way of doing things, you know.
Yeah, shutting people down.
Yeah,
which is no longer popular nowadays. What everybody wants to do is slug with everyone, and as fall approaches, that's not going to be the way you win. I don't think that you're going to beat people's heads in, and that's how you win the games. You're either going to tighten up or not. They've taken 3 from Boston. I think they took 4 from the Yankees or something like that, or maybe 4 from Boston, 3 from the Yankees.
They swept the Red Sox.
Yeah. I thought they swept the Yankees too.
All the time. The Yankees can't beat them in the game of stickball.
No. They you know what? I'm watching, and the Yankees are dealing with a lot of injuries right now. Didn't help them at all that Didi Gregorius went down. Didn't help me in my fantasy quest for championship number 3. But, they got a lot of those young kids up now who are not tightening up, and it's getting to that point where you have to tighten up. They brought that kid up. They brought that kid up, Luke Voigt, who's swinging the stick.
Yeah.
But last night he made a key error. The game was 4-2.
Yeah,
and I played first base. That's a tough play to make.
It is a
but
tough
you have
play.
to focus. You can see what he did. He actually took his eye off the ball.
It was a do or die.
It was a do or die, and he was trying to make a throw before he made the catch.
Right.
Which was,
he was on my team. I got an error for that.
Yeah, well, luckily mine is all offense, so I didn't get an error for it. And then he came up and got a single, which was nice. And it was funny. You should have seen him around first base. It looked like he hit 2 grand slams. Like he was going to teach them a lesson.
He heard the squad. He had to make up for it.
Heard the squad. Because the 4-2 game is much different than a 6-2 game.
Very different.
Especially at Yankee Stadium. But if we want to start in the East, they still got Boston as the best team in baseball, as their record would indicate.
As they should, because they are currently. But the Houston Astros are getting their act back together, so they're going.
Well, they're getting the team back together, and that goes a long ways. And in a couple of days, the rosters expand, and they're talking about bringing up Mr. Clutch, Brian McCann.
Yeah,
they're talking about bringing up a lot of guys. I wanted to get your take. We talked a lot, and we've been talking a lot about this system of suppression. That is this a part of that bad CBA that the Players Association signed, or what is it that keeps these young guys down with teams that are printing money? Why would Eloy Jimenez not be in the league? Why would Vladimir Guerrero Jr. not be in the league? Why all of these guys?
It's just time control. You get a few years extra on their contract. But I would feel like if I was the owner of the team, that I would bring you up, and you would appreciate it.
You bring me up?
Bring you up.
What a guy.
And you would appreciate it.
I sure would.
Because we're going to live the life now. You in the show. Let's do it.
I'm living the dream.
I'm in live with the lights.
It's not just a game, man. The show is my life.
No, and you bring a Jimenez up or a Vladimir Guerrero Jr. up. He gets the love from the city, and you guys.
Oh, love.
Yeah,
love.
You treat him right, and guess what? He'll stay.
He'll stay.
And not only
at
that,
a discount rate.
Yeah, they're going to make it. They're difference makers. Those guys are down there almost batting 400 in the minor leagues in AAA.
Right.
I mean, and they're facing major league pitching.
Vlad he's batting 400, right? The other guys are almost batting 400.
He just literally dropped under. I think the past couple of games he's batting like 387. I think Jimenez is batting close to 380 something as well.
Right.
I mean, it's ridiculous because now they've taken advantage of that system so long and so much that now the players are going to have to come back and do something about that. I mean, I do believe, was that George Springer? Or there was someone just a couple of years ago that was going to sue one of the teams for holding him down, and they knew that he could come up.
Yeah.
It was
I
someone
think
on
the
Cubs.
only team it was Chris Bryant.
Chris
Bryant.
Yeah.
And Chris Bryant, and they did the right thing. They brought him up, and he won Rookie of the Year, I do believe.
Yeah. Come on, man.
And that was he didn't come up till mid-May or something like that.
Okay, don't be greedy, man. Bring him up.
And then they won the championship.
Yes.
With him batting third, I do believe.
Come on, man.
Yeah. It's
ugly.
It's ugly because these guys can actually, just like you said, they're difference makers that can actually help these teams.
And these teams act like they want to win and act like they're rebuilding, and they're actually just playing games with the money. You're playing games with the cheese, man.
And you have plenty of it. And
don't act like you're into rebuilding and then you're holding down the best players in the minor leagues just so you can get a couple of extra years of control.
And the crazy part about it is the general public doesn't know.
Yeah.
So they can perpetrate that fraud and pass off act like this. Oh, yeah, he's not ready yet.
Yeah. No, whatever.
And we've been around a lot of major league coaches and players at the time that like,
better.
hey, there's a guy down there right now. He came up. He's looking at me like, hey, you know I'm supposed to be up here.
I'm like, I know.
And I'm looking at him like, you know you're supposed to be up here. And then there's nothing they can do about it.
The Mets got a kid down there just hit 33 bombs for the season, and he's not coming up. They're talking about they're just going to let him rest and be ready for spring training. He's not looking to rest.
The kid's 23. He's got plenty of fresh legs. However you want it, he's ready to go.
Fresh legs. Oh, let me in. Come on, let me in, coach.
Ready for a doubleheader, tripleheader. What do you need? A 4x4? However you want it. And, now we're looking at a beautiful race shaping up in the American League West because the Oakland A's completely and totally caught fire.
But they just got a big blow because their star, Brett Anderson, now went down because Brett Anderson was pitching above his head. And he
was pitching above his head. Sean Manaea was pitching above his head, and he went down.
Just went on the DL.
I know.
And now you got to depend on Edwin Jackson.
Which I don't think that's what you really want to do. You need Edwin Jackson to be a surprise sleeper.
Right.
Not to be the ace.
4 or 5.
You need to be a 5-6.
You go 5-6, huh?
No, lately he's an ace, but I don't think that's going to maintain.
Well, he got gutted last game. No, I think he gave up 4 innings in like 3-4 innings.
And I also don't think that these guys can stay hot the way that they've stayed hot.
No.
I mean, guys are.
I just think that they're ahead of their curve right now. That's it. They've had their run and it's over because the Astros actually.
That's what I think.
Got Altuve back and now they're 6-0 since he's been back.
Yeah.
I mean, George Springer just came back. You have Correa that's back.
And all the pitchers seem like they went through their dead arm period.
Right.
And the only one that they still need to get back is Lance McCullers.
And they're bringing him back for the bullpen.
Yeah, which is fine.
Yeah. And he's a horse. You're going to bring him in the bullpen? Get him
long
be
hard to hit.
Yeah, he's hard to hit.
And the same situation like
Don't
we're
be
talking
so
about.
Hard to hit.
Yeah, because I will hit you in the end.
And when your love is Rick
Yeah, so the shout out to Rick James, R.I.P.
Right on.
Rick James says, wow. Anyways, in that same vein, Garrett Cole was a guy that could have been under team control for the right price, and they played him out. And now he's looking at trying to pick up a championship.
Right. Now he's in Houston, and they could have had him in Pittsburgh in their little run that they're doing right now.
Pittsburgh's in contention. Pittsburgh was in contention.
And now they had to go try to get Chris Archer, who's not getting the job done, and all you had to do was not play games.
And now it's over.
This is the game inside the game.
This is inside baseball.
Yeah.
And been quite a few teams that have been hot, but it's funny because the St. Louis Cardinals got hot. They came out here to Los Angeles and ran amok on the Los Angeles Dodgers, which is really unfortunate because the Dodgers needed those games. But yet and still, it didn't necessarily matter because the Cubs have fortified. And I have to give it to Theo Epstein. For a long time, I thought it was, there was a novelty of him being a good-looking young executive and blah, 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 blah.
Smoke and mirrors.
To a certain degree. You can't, smoke and mirrors your way through that many championships. But at the same time, now, this guy, you see, he's pushing the buttons that matter. Go get Daniel Murphy. Right. Let's fortify this lineup. You throw Daniel Murphy in the middle of what will be a rehabilitated Chris Bryant and Rizzo, and you still have all the young guys. Javi Baez has figured the game out now at the major league level.
Well, I think Cole Hamels is a big acquisition.
Huge acquisition, especially because he looks like Cole Hamels from circa 2009.
You have to motivate him to play.
Yeah, and he's a winner.
I mean, I don't come out there every week to get beat down. They just.
It's already hot in Texas.
Yeah. It's too hot in Texas.
He's
beat out you.
That's it. He was the last of the Mohicans, if you remember, because he was the last man on those Texas teams that were actually of championship grade. that were one pop fly away from one pterodactyl arm away, Nelson Cruz, from actually winning a championship.
And Nelson Cruz hitting 30 bombs a year anywhere. He's hiding.
He's hiding up in Seattle.
Come on, Nelson. Nelson, if Nelson's on your squad, it's hard for me to take you serious because he has to really show you that he wants it more so than he has.
Only thing I need him to do is catch the damn ball.
Well, yeah, he didn't want it, though. This is what I'm saying. He didn't want it.
You
know, he was scared, and you can't play scared.
Didn't work.
You got to want the ball. And if you don't want the ball in baseball, everybody knows.
Find you.
It will find you.
I don't care if you are in the stands.
And it'll come to you and be like, oh, God.
Yep, this is how baseball works. But we're looking at those teams. I mean, the playoff picture is pretty clear at this point. We got Boston and the Yankees. Cleveland's ran away with it in the Central. Houston and Oakland are still slugging it out, and then we don't know who that wild card is going to go to. We'll see if Oakland can maintain. If I had to bet right now, I would say that we're looking at Boston, New York, Cleveland, and Houston, and that is a serious rotunda.
You don't think the Mariners can hold out?
Nah, man. I told you from the word go. Shout out to Pastor Larry. I told you from the word go. The Mariners aren't serious. They're not serious. I don't believe in them. Although I think that a lot of these
How many games are they out?
Can play spoiler. They're 7 games back. They're 4.5 on the wild card.
Yeah, see, they can still do it, and because the Yankees are in trouble.
I don't necessarily believe that, even though I don't like what they're looking at now.
Didi
was supposed to see the doctor yesterday. It'll be interesting to see what he does.
Well,
I think that you can't go. I don't think you can go anywhere without Didi. No, I hear what you're saying.
You got CC that's suspect. You got Tanaka that's suspect. Who do you have? You have Severino that's really not a big game pitcher. You have problems. You don't have a catcher because all of their catchers are, except for the Asian cat
who caught yesterday and actually tricked off a couple plays.
Yeah, but this is the problem though, because none of their catchers are fundamentally sound. They all have problems,
which seems to be just such the irony of losing and firing Joe Girardi.
They got to pay.
You have to pay because you had a coach who was an extremely fundamentally sound catcher in the major leagues.
Yeah, and he got on Gary Sanchez about his defense, and that
went the wrong way. Yeah, that went the wrong way. Yeah. They sided with the youth and with the talent as opposed to with the coach and the discipline.
So if that's the case, then why don't you move Gary Sanchez to first base? And since Greg Bird
isn't working out,
and bring up one of those kids and let them catch.
I don't know. The way that it goes now, I want to get Miguel Handjuhar behind the plate. This guy,
oh
my goodness, this dude swings a stick.
Him and Gleyber.
Torres. Yeah, so, that's what the picture's looking like in the American League. In the National League, you got a nice battle brewing over there because now the Washington Nationals have ceded that they're not going anywhere, and that's why they're getting rid of people, and it looks like Gio Gonzalez is the next to go. Now, what I'm wondering is that's what I'm wondering. Is Gio the kind of guy that has lost his confidence and his stuff because he's not motivated, because he doesn't believe in what the coach was selling, what Dave Martinez and them were selling over there? Or do you think he's just not focused? Because Gio, Gio is the homie. And I can't understand because he has good stuff, but it's like he doesn't trust his stuff. He's not confident in his stuff.
But it seems that there's a time every year or every season that Gio loses focus and then he doesn't have it. And this year it's been the whole year pretty much.
Yeah.
And so now I wouldn't trust him. I wouldn't give up any big-time prospects to get Gio. I mean, what is he bringing to the table? You don't know what you're getting.
Well, I think at that point you're just going for experience. And the team right above them are the Philadelphia Phillies, and they're banging it out with the Atlanta Braves. They are neck and neck. They're 3.5 back. They're 2.5 back on the wild card. And they just picked up Joey Bats, who, by the way, is making everybody pay for not giving them that deal. They got to pay. I like that from Joey Bats. He's showing me art.
Yeah, but the Braves are real, though.
The Braves are real.
And the Braves are going to be a problem for any of the teams that they match up with the Dodgers, with the if it's the Rockies, or I don't believe in Arizona.
What happened? You told me Arizona was real.
No, I told you the Rockies are real.
No, you told me Arizona. We can run back the tape. The last podcast, which was about 2 years ago, you told me that the Arizona.
Ago. This year, you go.
I'm talking about honestly.
I'm talking about you.
I want to talk about Palace. Talking about at the beginning of August, you said you thought Arizona was real. I told you they weren't real. Now Colorado is potentially real.
Yeah, and you didn't think that they were real. I told you they're real. They tricked the game off last night, though.
They sure did. And those kind of games hurt.
They do.
DJ LeMahieu clutches up and hits a grand salami in the 8th, and then you can't hold the game.
That's shame on them. They should have brought in their closer door in the 8th.
Adam Ottavino wasn't ready.
Yeah, well, Adam he's a wild boy.
You wild.
You wild. You're a wild boy.
Yeah, but honestly, I think the Dodgers are going to end up pulling it off again.
I don't, and even if they do, they focused on offense. And if the other teams who have pitching, they're going to give you a problem. You have Manny Machado and Justin Turner, and everybody else is
hitting closer to 200 than they are to 250.
Yeah.
which is a serious problem.
So who you have? Clayton Kershaw in your rotation. And
Alex Wood.
Hunjin is suspect.
I need a right-handed stud.
Yeah, and you got Walker Buehler.
Oh, you got Buehler. Yeah, you do have Buehler
and Stripling, but they got strips and chips in the bullpen.
Yeah, chips and salsa out there.
Yeah, a little guac.
And so I don't know. I still think the Dodgers. You know what the Dodgers haven't done this year that they've done every year for the last maybe 4 years?
Peel off that long winning streak.
Peel off that crazy winning streak.
It's too late for it now.
I mean, it's 30 games left, 29 games left.
I know.
It would be nice to go 20-9.
I think that they're going to have to play against some of these teams that they're battling, though, and that's going to be the difference because the Rockies aren't afraid of them, and Arizona gives them a problem in Arizona.
Yeah, but I think there's usually a good 4 or 5 game stretch against San Diego where you can get your confidence up.
I think they just got finished with San Diego.
They did, but I don't think that's it. You think that's it? That's it? I think they got to go down
to have
San
one more
Diego.
series, but you know what? They're going to have to play against the Rockies. They're going to have to play against the Arizona Diamondbacks, and both of those teams give them a problem. Not with Clayton Kershaw, but with the other pitchers, because I don't believe that Rich Hill is going to give these teams a problem like that, especially if the Rockies are playing in Colorado.
Main thing that I can see as a problem for Philadelphia is that Philadelphia, unlike most of the teams that you look at, is actually very, very home friendly. Philadelphia is 41-23 at home versus 29-38 on the road. That's a problem. And the only other team that's crazy like that in reverse, which is really impressive, are the Houston Astros.
Yeah.
Who are 34-29 at home, but 47-21 on the road.
So they want to get to your house.
You want to win a road game? Bet on the Astros. Yeah. And then Boston's record is just insane.
It's insane. And the Astros really are the only team that can beat them, and they're going to beat them with that front line pitching.
Yeah. I mean, this is why they play it.
Right.
Me, myself, I still like the Cubs to come out of the National League.
Boy.
I like the Cubs coming out of the National League, even though I'm scared a little bit of Atlanta. And the Dodgers, after watching Ken Lee come back, and Ken Lee hasn't been the same since he
that flat cutter.
Yeah, and he hasn't been the same since the heart issue. He's been coming back with the flat cutter, and I don't think it has anything to do with his heart. This is just that flat cut piece.
Yeah, the flat cut piece,
which is a BP fastball, which goes the wrong ways.
You can look at him and see his face when he throws. He's like,
yeah,
a flat cutter.
It's bomb. So they're talking about Friday's a big day. Josh Donaldson could go. Gio could go. Andrew McCutchen could go. So
there's a lot of suspect players right now that can go.
There's a lot of suspect players who, though, could then in turn revitalize their interest in the game, just like you're talking about with Cole Hamels.
Yeah, but I don't think that it works like that for the
everyday players.
Yeah, for like Andrew McCutchen to go to the American League. I just don't feel like his skill set now is that to the point where he can go and jump in the American League and start just ripping the ball apart, ripping the cover off. I've watched him play recently, and it didn't look like he was just.
I'm just amazed at what happened to him. It seemed like there's something that you'll find out years down the road. Something happened to him personally that
right, because the decline was just overnight.
I mean, it was wow. And congratulations to Mike Schild because it's been named the Cardinals field manager. They took that interim tag off. And it's go time.
3 years.
Yeah, boy. All right. Enough baseball. I love it, but there's never enough baseball.
I was going to say, you're off the show.
It's over. It's called the T-Zone now. And T's for testosterone. Now, being August, moving into Labor Day, it's time for professional football. And it is also time for the NCAA to pop off with some college football, which means that some wonderful video games have come out. It also means that it's time for Next Victim to give us his award-winning and monetary-winning predictions and picks for this season of college football. Next Victim, live in the OZone. How you feeling?
What is good, OZone? Welcome back like college football, and we going to be hot like them Lake Elsinore fires.
Ooh, man, that's hot. Now, that's hot.
Don't get it hot like that.
Yeah, buddy. So tell me something. Last year, you went on an extraordinary run of picking some upsets in college football, some underdogs. It was like you had a man on the field. I was going to call you Ace Rothstein. You seem to always have the inside man to know what was going down. This year, college football seems to be marred kicking off with scandal, just like professional football. There's a whole thing going on with Ohio State. Urban Meyer seems like he doesn't know what's going down. I saw Nick Saban talking slick on TV yesterday. I'm not fully versed on the world of college football, but I know that you are. So lace me up.
What you want to know? College football is about to take off.
Who do you like? Top 25. We saw once again. We saw Alabama make moves. Nick Saban didn't want to answer whether or not which quarterback he was gonna start, or which quarterback he was gonna play for the majority of the time. Who do you like going in? Obviously, with college football, they seem to set teams up to just get massacred on opening weekend.
Well, it's all about the schedule too, because with college,
the scheduling.
The scheduling is crucial. You look at a team like Michigan. Michigan's got a way harder schedule than Alabama. And Alabama,
but they need to be, because it's big, big plans. Jim Harbaugh is a big man, so he coming back to Michigan, after 3 seasons, he needs to step up. It's either win or go home right now for them. So the best way to do that is stack your schedule, so you can be recognized and that the kids get out there and play. It's like, but I'm rolling with like my top 4 at the end of the season. I'm going with Georgia. I believe in them kids. I got to stay with Dabo and Clemson.
You love Clemson.
Love a well-coached team. Dabo Sweeney is I'm going to say he's a new Nick Saban right now. He's a new Jimbo Fisher, just because he has the kids playing, and it's all about the kids with him. My other squad is Wisconsin, and I'm going with Michigan State also. I got to go with the green and white. All the fans out there love to see me with my Michigan State sweatshirt on, so I got to roll with the green and white. So I eliminated Alabama, and basically I don't like Nick Saban, and I don't like what he's doing with the quarterback situation. Urban Meyer, Ohio State, they're ranked at, I believe, number 5, but I don't like what he has done and what's going on with Ohio State. I'm thinking like nowadays the game of college football, it's been going this way where the coaching is bigger than the actual kids playing.
Really?
So I had to eliminate those 2 schools. And
well, at least we know the coaches are actually getting paid.
Yeah, but that's a whole nother episode.
Because Saban just got another 1.1 for incentives.
He's got major bread.
Now let me ask you this: not to jump off of college football, but why is it that like a guy like Saban can dominate in college football but can't win in NFL?
Because the kids are playing. He can go out there and recruit the kids. Kids know it just under his name alone that, they can be a top, say, three round in the draft. So, coming with these kids that's coming from basically nothing and going to this school, under Nick Saban, the name, it's like, that you're going to get, a meal ticket. And that's really what, we want everyone to get paid. But, to do something that you enjoy doing, which is football, minus the CTEs, you're going to get that contract to get paid, whether if it's a football contract, whether if it's a shoe contract, you're going to get some type
What
of
if it's the shoe program?
It's the shoe program right now.
Sorry,
program.
Lonzo came out.
Put you on lockdown.
23-hour lockdown.
But it's some big games this weekend, man. It's a
So
big
who
game.
you like? Talk to me about the big games.
So we got San Jose State is playing, so we got to roll with San Jose because that's the alumni school.
Not a big game though.
They start Thursday. It's a big game because it is college football, food, whatever. But
Homer. I hear a homer over there. I'm hearing a homer for the home team, Kevin.
we got Washington playing Auburn in Auburn, so that's one of the big games on Saturday. UNLV is at USC. SC is gonna win that one. We got Cincy at UCLA. We got UCLA winning that one. We got number 14 Michigan playing at.
I think
number
Cincy
12
is going to
Notre
upset
Dame.
UCLA.
You know what? I'm on the border with that, but I'll bet you 5-10 if you want.
We make it a nickel.
All right, we got nickel piece.
There it is.
All right, so Sunday we got another big game. We got University of Miami, the U. They're playing against them LSU Tigers in LSU. I like LSU, but
wow, they're
Miami
kicking off with a nice schedule.
Yeah, it goes down in college football. They don't care if you know who you are. They want to get it on.
And they also don't care if it's Sunday.
Right?
They don't care.
What? That
They
doesn't
don't
make
care.
any sense. Wow.
But the NFL is not on yet. Once the NFL starts, they don't hit it on Sunday.
This is the thing that I love about college football, man. We got games on Thursday. We got games on Friday. We got games on Saturday. We got games on Sunday, and we got a game on Monday with number 20 Virginia Tech versus Florida State. So it's going down. It's a great way to break into the NFL season as well. You know what I mean? So let the horns play. It's about to go down. College football is my lifestyle, and I'm ready to go. Put your money on me.
So who's going to be you got as number one? Who is it? Who you're picking? Let's hear it.
Right now or at the end of the season?
Well, he gave us his top 4 at the end of the season.
Yeah, at the end of the season. I want number one. I want to know who's going to bring on that national championship.
Wow. That's
Dabo Sweeney, Clemson Tigers.
Okay.
Wow. Well, what I want to know is who's the underdog bet this weekend?
The underdog bet.
Who's your sleeper underdog bet where I can go pick up a couple of coins, if you know what I'm saying?
LSU over Miami. That's my underdog bet.
Wow.
No, that's big.
Because LSU is number 25 and Miami is number 8. Miami went into the season last year rolling, had a great bowl game. So they was rolling, but it's just something about that gold and purple with LSU. Something about them. So I like them Tigers.
Tigers up.
Okay. Wow.
Tiger transport. I love it.
Hey, Tigres.
All right.
I like Tiger.
All right.
Tigres.
Yeah. But I have one more question for you before you go, Victim. How do you feel about the Angels?
See, that's that boo right there. That's that.
What's the problem?
Yeah, what's the problem?
You guys got honestly, you guys got 2 of the best 5 players in all of baseball over there, and yet one of them only plays a third of the time, and not because he's injured. Shohei Ohtani, I have to say, Shohei Ohtani has been completely mismanaged by the Anaheim Angels of Los Angeles, of Anaheim.
15 home runs in 200-something at bats.
This kid is the best player in the world, in my opinion. He's the best baseball player in the world all around. Him and Mookie Betts, even though Mookie Betts can't deal
in that order.
And the reason I give it to Shohei is because Shohei can deal as well.
Right.
And I don't think he would have gotten hurt if they would have just kept him on his regular schedule.
Right. Keep him on a regular program. He came from over. He was pitching 5 days a week.
Come on, man.
Now you got him pitching 9 days, 10 days.
All kind of, the rest is inconsistent. Yeah. And suddenly he
can't play in the outfield.
Yeah. He can't play after he played the day before. I mean, this is like very delicate for a young man that's obviously in great shape and ready to go. I mean, he came in there yesterday banging the baseball.
He sure did. And they ripped him off on a couple of bats.
They ripped him off on his last at bat. As a matter of fact, that was a ball.
After pitching the practice game.
After pitching the practice game.
Come on, man.
It's showtime. And you guys are messing around in 3rd place or 4th place because you don't want to manage the team properly. Now, you tell me right now, on the way out, I got to have it. Does Mike Scioscia need to go, or are you still riding on the Scioscia train from him blocking the plate in 1984?
He needs to go right now. Don't even wait till the end of the season. He needs to go right now.
He needs to go. I agree.
Wow.
What you waiting for? To keep hindering players? Get up out of there now. Bring somebody in there that's ready to take over and know what they're going to have going into next season. Get his ass up. Out. I'm starting a campaign. Get out. Get out, so
you and Jordan Peele. The Get Out movement. You feel like the Angels in the sunken place.
They are knee deep.
They have way too much talent to end up in 3rd place so far. Well, how many games are they below 500?
Oh man, they're 2 games below 500.
That makes no sense at all.
Makes no sense. You have the talent. Okay, get rid of. I'm not gonna say get rid of nobody, but they need a better bullpen because they losing so many games from the 6th to the 9th inning. And puts too much pressure on the sticks with Pujols and Trout and everybody else.
So
how can you bring Eric Young back into the league and he's balling out? He's balling out. He's putting up decent numbers. But it's the bullpen. The bullpen is terrible.
It's more than the bullpen. And not only that, this is blasphemy, but I would trade Mike Trout and build my whole organization back up because they don't have anybody really in the minor leagues. They got one kid down there that's supposed to be all-world. But you can trade Mike Trout.
I don't even think you have to trade Mike Trout. They
have to trade Mike Trout.
I mean, I hear what you're saying.
They don't have any talent in their minor leagues. That's not saying because the Boston Red Sox are winning and they have kids in the minor leagues. The Angels don't have anybody in the minor leagues, and they don't have any. And they just have that starting 24 that they got up there now.
you can be okay with trading your second best player on the team. You can't be okay with that.
Yeah, I can, if it's going to better the organization.
But it's not, though. How is that? If they went out and signed a 10-year deal for Fat Pujols, we would be all right. But you can't trade him. You got to deal with him. So you cannot trade Mike Trout.
How many more years does Albert have on that deal?
I think of like 3 or 4, something crazy.
2028 Olympics. That's when this deal is over.
He gutted them out.
He got a 30-year deal.
And the Cardinals are sitting pretty.
Laughing.
Right.
Wow.
Come on, man.
Yeah, but I'm saying that if you traded Trout, then you would be able to get a king's ransom. You can rebuild your organization like the Yankees were in a bad situation a few years ago. And then what they had done was just make a couple big moves and replenish your minor league system, and then you can build from there because you have Ohtani that you could actually build around. And you have different
organization though, T.
But it's baseball.
Organization.
But it's baseball.
Cats want to go to New York, and they want to go out there. They know they're going to win. Cats is not going to want to come to a mediocre team like the Angels that's in transition. So if you keep a Trout there, you keep a Showtime there, you have a better chance of attracting, some talent that's going to come.
I don't think the Angels ever have a hard time getting people to come play in beautiful city of Anaheim, California.
I think they will.
I think that the only reason that will give you a problem, outfielders obviously love coming to play in Los Angeles. I think that if you continue to show that you give false statements to people like Shohei, you're going to have a problem because I can't imagine Shohei signed there based on the idea that he was going to play every blue moon. Yeah. I don't think that's what they sold him. I think they sold him a bill of goods. But next victim, thank you for your insight for the NCAA football picture, but also for your candidness and honesty about the Los Angeles Anaheim Angels of New York, of San Diego's province of Fullerton and Fontana on the south side of Cypress and Garden Grove.
Don't forget Beaumont.
Shout out to the desert. All right, Tipper. Talk to you soon.
Late.
All right, later.
Nice piece by Victim. Nice. I like where he was going with his.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting point, though, because he leads us into professional football, which is about to kick off, which everybody seems kind of lukewarm on. They've really, really got everyone by the short and curlies.
Yeah, but let's not go with that false narrative that it's the kneeling and everything else that's hurting the game or whatever, because that's not the problem. The problem is that they just have to make the game not as corporate. I feel like they've made.
What does that mean when you say that?
Not as corporate as far as with the president spewing out false narratives with the kneeling, and then also with the rule changes. They have so many things that are just designed for a handful of guys to succeed, like Tom Brady or like
quarterbacks.
Yeah, just quarterbacks in general.
Offense.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I feel like football is in the midst of crafting a way, just like how other sports have been, in crafting a way to make the game offensive.
Yes.
And offensive base. It is impossible. I'm with Richard Sherman on this one. It's impossible to tackle a guy without putting your helmet towards his chest. You don't have to go helmet down, so you go helmet crown down and helmet to helmet. But if a guy is going in the other direction and you try to tackle him chest to chest, you're going to get juked.
Or with just your arms, because now we're looking at a bunch of dislocated shoulders
and arm tackles that don't work because the guys are too strong and too fast and have too many moves.
Don't hit him in the knees. Don't hit him above there's a small window that you can actually make a tackle.
And don't touch him when you're running in reverse and he's running forward.
Right.
And now
did you see that play the other night with the quarterback when the offensive lineman they shed the blocker and hit the quarterback, just completely blindsided the quarterback. It was a clean hit, but they called a penalty on it. This is what they do now. So you can't even hit the quarterback at all, even if you have a clear path to him.
And he has the ball.
He had the ball. He got sacked. He got blindsided.
Well, see, and herein lies the problem. It's a serious problem. And just like I didn't like Major League Baseball shrinking the strike zone to get more offense.
4 fingers up.
And but the offense, I'm talking about overt offensive moves.
And which changing of the mounds and all that kind of stuff.
Changing the mounds, changing the strike zone, literally making the culture acceptable to hit, low average, high home runs.
Yeah.
The steroid era. Basketball has the same thing going on because they've basically outlawed the big man in his traditional form.
Right, and defense.
You can't punish people down low as a bigger person. The defense is non-existent. Don't even look the wrong way at Steph Curry. You might get ejected
out of the arena.
Yeah, and and now football has followed suit, and they're like, you know what? People do like offense. Nobody really likes a 7-3 game. People like 42 to 29 games, and we're going to give them just that.
And I think that's also a root cause of more injuries as well, because if you're talking about guys streaking down the field like that for 48 minutes, it's a problem. I mean, because
it's a lot. It takes a lot out
of trauma on the body.
Yeah, there's less time to rest within the game.
Yeah.
And here to talk about the NFL preview, we have a long-time contributor to the Ozone. He's happy to hear we're back, too. Trucker Dave! Trucker Dave! We're back! The Ozone is back! It's fall! It's almost time for Major League Baseball playoffs, which means that football is here in college and in the NFL. We had to get you on the line to hear what's going down. How you feeling?
Feeling pretty good. It's about to go down. Can't wait for the season.
It's going down. It's going down. I mean, we know that you're a very, very big New England Patriots fan, and I heard that they got under touchdown Tommy's skin the other day, made him hang up talking about his trainer and his travel plans and this, that, and the other. What's your take? Let's start right there with the contenders, with the runners up in last year's Super Bowl. How do you feel about your faves?
I don't know. They look pretty unstable at the receiver position. They're thinking about maybe bringing in Dez, and, Eric Decker retired, and they cut Kenny Britt, and you lose Julian Edelman for 4 games. So it's going to be really, really interesting, So I think what they're going to do is probably use James White out of the backfield, maybe put him in the receiver position, and even just focus more on the running game with the rookie Shoney Michel.
Interesting. Do you feel like they're contenders once again, or do you feel like somebody's actually going to keep them from the Super Bowl? Because they're like LeBron James when it comes to the Super Bowl. They can get there. Count on them. I mean, they win a whole lot of them, but I'm saying you can count on the New England Patriots to get there just through the sheer discipline of their program, so it seems.
Yeah, the system is
airtight. Me, myself, I like to keep mine west. I told you I'm going through a divorce right now with the Raiders, even though we brought back John Gruden. We tried to go to counseling. We were working on some things, but I just can't get the Raiders to stop lying to me. They just won't stop lying to me. They tell me they're coming home, but then every time I look on the internet, they tell me they're moving out to Vegas. So I had relationship problems with them.
Things are getting weird.
Things are getting weird, and we need to talk. So now I think I'm moving into Ram time, and I really like what the Rams are doing, especially if they ever actually stop dragging their feet and make it official with that man Aaron Donald.
Well, you know what? The problem with John Gruden, he's making a big mistake right off the bat with not giving Khalil Mack his money to consensus. I understand why.
Why would you not pay Khalil Mack? Why would you not pay him?
Doesn't make any sense.
So the rumor is that the Packers, who have room, may trade for him and offer them like a first round because they need an outside linebacker. Who doesn't need Khalil Mack?
Exactly.
But why wouldn't you pay Khalil Mack when you bring in Jordy Nelson and and you don't, Khalil Mack, think about what you're doing here, man. It just doesn't make any sense.
I just don't understand. I don't understand. I don't understand in all of these sports. We were just talking about it a little bit ago in Major League Baseball. They suppress these kids so that they can get a couple years extra on their contracts at a discount rate when the kids could actually help them win now.
They can. Look at Odell Beckham. Finally they want to pay somebody in the NFL. Like the receiver, and you make Odell Beckham the highest paid receiver when that should be Antonio Brown. I don't understand the pay structure of the NFL. It just doesn't seem like, they're going about it the right way, man. I'm really questioning that. Or give that money to Julio Jones, who was threatening to hold out. These guys are proving themselves. I like Odell Beckham too, but at the same time, man, football needs to start paying these guys with the guaranteed contract like they're just finally starting to do, like the other sports do, like baseball and basketball.
Well, let's see what Odell Beckham had to say about whether or not he's matured.
I don't know if he's matured or not. He said his goals were a lot bigger.
Just honestly, it just was something that, I'm not, so say, proud of anything that's, ever happened. But, I'm able to, take everything that's happened for me and make myself into a man and learn from those mistakes and be able to look myself in the mirror and have to deal with those things. So this has been it wasn't the best thing that happened to me with the ankle, but what I got to learn and take and grow from was everything that I needed in my life. And now I'm able to, take that and keep going forward and just be the best me that I could be.
Now, me personally, I don't think that, you know what? I don't think it's the right move. I don't think signing Odell Beckham to the crazy, crazy deal. I'm very happy for him. I'm happy he got paid. But I don't think that I can give him 95 and 65 guaranteed. For one, if I was somebody who negotiated deals as I play on television, I would look into the short-term deals that are actually robust short-term deals with everybody in football.
Especially since they're not guaranteed.
Well, yeah, and I'm saying but you could potentially give these guys deals that they're satisfied with, and they could be robust deals that don't sacrifice the team when it comes to potential injuries. And, I mean, Odell needs to get paid. I agree. Does he need to get paid more than Antonio Brown? Hell no. Everybody knows he doesn't need to get paid more than Antonio Brown.
If you don't, you have a problem.
Have you lost your mind? Man. Antonio Brown is the model of consistency. The guy came back after breaking his ankle, more or less, breaking his leg, and still came back and balled.
I think what people don't look at, too, is the fact that I know Beckham does, but like when they compare him to Julio Jones, is that he plays outside in cold weather and he catches the ball with his hand. And his route running is just like second to none.
Superb. It's second to none.
And he doesn't bring you that drama that you get with Odell Beckham.
No, he does his work and he delivers.
His skills are extraordinary.
Man. Yeah.
But it's exciting to have the season back, and what do you guys think about going into baseball season? Who do you like in the postseason?
It's hard to call, but honestly, the Red Sox look pretty legit, and they have looked pretty legit, and I think that the Red Sox and the Houston Astros are going to end up clashing, and I think we're going to get a replay of the Indians and the Yankees from last year. And unfortunately, I think the Yankees don't have enough this go around unless they do something about their pitching. And I think that the Indians will pull that off, and they'll try to play spoiler for whoever it is that actually gets. Well, actually, no, it's going to be the Red Sox and maybe even the Red Sox and Yankees in the first round, because the Red Sox are going to end up with that playing against the wild card. And the Indians will be packing home. But me personally this year, I've been saying it all year, I really like the Cubs. I like the Cubs out of the National League. I like Joe Madden. I like the Theo Epstein. I like their team, and I like their ability to potentially pull it all off. With pertaining to the NFL, I like what the Rams are doing, but it's always so hard to call the NFL before the NFL starts because of the injury factor.
I know.
I actually really like Kansas City. But I can't trust Andy Reid.
Yeah, that kid Mahomes should light it up, though.
He is lighting it up, man. He can throw a deep ball. And, they were doing right by him by drafting him when they did and letting Alex Smith go. So, kudos to them. I want to see what they do at cornerback, losing Marcus Peters.
Right.
And, it's going to be real interesting to see what happens. But I really think the good fit for Dez will probably be in Jacksonville. I mean, because they lost Allen Hurns. They
just lost Marquise Lee.
They lost Marquise Lee. They lost Mercedes Lewis. That's a perfect place for Dez Bryant to go. People want him to go to New England, but I think
I don't think New England is his place, attitude-wise. I don't think that fits properly. And and Jacksonville's going to bring the defense, and he could mess around and sneak him some serious offense out of that situation potentially.
Yeah, so NFL coming back is huge, but people are really, really waiting for the NBA, man. I never feel like a season that NBA is overshadowing everybody else.
It's like it never stopped.
They really took a page from the NFL and ran with it. It's impressive.
I know.
Really, really impressive.
Very impressive.
Really impressive.
What do you think, T?
About which point?
About the Major League Baseball.
Oh, you know what? In the National League, I like the Rockies, actually. I feel like the Rockies have a lot of potential, and so do the Atlanta Braves. But in the American League, I'm definitely going with the Houston Astros because they got pitching.
Yeah, you liked them last year, remember?
Yeah.
Big on the Houston Astros.
Yeah. Well, they've gotten even better this year.
Wow, man, it's going to be going down in just a little bit of time.
Very short period. And I think where it's going down, honestly, I think I'm expecting an outrageous year from Drew Brees. I think that the Saints are going to make noise, and I actually think that they had the potential to really make some things pop if they could have got there last year.
I agree with you. They were just one play away.
They're one play away.
You know, Drew Brees is that guy. You know what? I like the way New Orleans drafts. They've been having some really, really good drafts the last couple of years, and I'm looking for them to have a really good season. But the thing about the NFC is you just don't know. I like what Atlanta did by getting that receiver, take some pressure off of Julio Jones, and it's interesting to see what's going to happen with the Eagles. And you know, people are talking about Dallas. Is Dak and Zeke going to be able to carry him without Dez and everything? So NFL, and then you got, you know, look up for San Francisco. What's going to happen with Jimmy Garoppolo?
Yeah,
you know,
Jimmy
they gave
G.
him all the money. So, you know, what's going to happen with Russell Wilson? Will he be able to carry the team?
And Russell Wilson has no help.
Back.
Yeah, they have no help. Now, let me ask you this. What are you expecting out of Deshaun Watson?
I would not be surprised if Deshaun Watson could go all the way, man. I mean, that guy, I believe in
he lit it up last year before he got hurt.
Man, that guy has been lighting it up, man. That guy's the truth, man. He can read defenses. What do you guys like out of the rookie quarterback?
Ooh, excuse me. I actually like the SC product. I like what he's doing in the preseason. I like Darnold up there, Sam Darnold up there in with the Jets, hoping he gets the starting nod and he can bring back the Jets with a little bit of that Southern California excitement. Now, one thing that I'm excited to see is if he can deal with the cold.
Oh, he should be all right there. That's mental, you know. They said he's like the first person indoors and the last person to leave. And, you know, he's picking up the offenses pretty good. What do you guys think about Andrew Luck coming back?
Man, you know what? I don't know.
I don't know if he's back. I mean,
Right.
he missed the second day of practice, and they're saying if it was a game time situation, then he wouldn't have missed it. But it's, you know what?
You have to see him play, actually.
I need to see it.
To recognize it, to see if he's going to actually play.
And then let's just stop talking about Andrew Luck as though he was Tom Brady when he was playing. Andrew Luck was good, but I'm not. It's not like it's a given that he's going to the Super Bowl just because he's back, especially after not playing for 2-3 years.
Well, you know, they've been having problems, too, with the offensive line, shaky coach, owner on drugs. They got, you know, a little bit of...
There's a lot of scandal, a lot of problems going on.
Up there in Indianapolis. So, interesting to see, but it's going to be a lot to talk about. I can tell you that now.
I know. What do you think? What do you think about Derrick Henry taking over now?
About who taking over?
Derrick Henry.
I think that's a pretty good spot because, you know, you got guy from New England backing him up. So, you know, you really can't go wrong in your running back spot.
Deion Lewis, right?
Yeah, you got Deion Lewis backing him up, but I'm not a big opponent of their offensive line. I mean, really, your offensive line is the key. You know, Marcus Mariota is maturing, but a lot of people think he should be farther than what he is now.
Wow.
You know, you also got David Johnson coming back.
I know. I saw him in the preseason, man.
What's he looking like?
He's a monster. He's been looking like David Johnson. You know, and you got Josh Rosen, so you got a brand new quarterback, and you got David Johnson, and it's interesting. The whole NFC is really, really interesting. And the thing is, this is probably the last year that Le'Veon Bell is going to be in Pittsburgh because they can't reach a contract, you know, agreement with him. So he's probably going to end up on a team like the Jets or something like that because he's looking at to get a big contract, and Pittsburgh hasn't been able to do that for him.
Yeah, this is going to be a pivotal year, in my opinion, on whether or not that the NFL determines their trajectory. Are they going to continue to flatten out and go down, or are they going to go up? Because they're going to have a lot of political stuff that they have to deal with, and the quality of the game with all the rule changes. Trucker Dave, always appreciate your input. You're always welcome on the OZone. Be safe out there on the road.
All right, fellas. Thanks a lot.
You know what else is popping right now that we were a part of last year, we were not there this year, is the U.S. Open has kicked off.
Yeah.
Upset City already. Simona Halep got dropped in the very first match of
believe
the
that?
day. Yeah, world number one. I can because I think she's still dealing with a little bit of the championship fatigue and winning the French. But
Now, do you believe that, or do you think it's a focus thing?
I don't think it's a focus thing. I think the surfaces are different and it makes a difference unless you're elite. and she's she's a world number one for a reason. But I think that opens up a lot for a lot of different women out there to make moves. Me, myself, after seeing what I saw, I like Serena Williams in this one, but who I'm rooting for as the underdog, surprisingly enough, is Venus Williams. I watched Venus Williams play yesterday. She's got so much heart. I love Venus's game.
Right, it's nice.
People,
their head-on collision.
Yeah,
in the third.
But people really play Venus cheap because Serena's so great, and especially from doing what she's doing at her age after the autoimmune disease. It's early in the tournament, so we'll see what other upsets take place. But I'm taking Novak Djokovic to win this one, and actually for Nadal not to repeat this year.
You've been high on that Joker for about the last 2 months.
When the Joker's back, he's the best in the world, and he's been playing confidently, like his body doesn't hurt, and that goes a long, long, long ways. I want to talk about some boxing.
Why?
Because there's been some great fights, and there's some great fights that are being made. And I'm actually very surprised because guys are acting like they want to fight each other. And it's time for some guys to get knocked spark out, mate.
Yeah, and honestly, this is like one of the first times in recent memory that you can hear guys talking about they want to fight and break out of the stables,
Yeah, and I wonder how that makes the promoters feel.
Over the barrel.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah, because
but now you're not going to catch any jabs.
Yeah.
So why are you don't have to take a body shot.
Yeah, but they're losing their meal tickets in a sense if they put their guy out there and he doesn't win. You know what I'm saying? So we've watched them curate certain people or players or boxers, and then they won't put them in situations where they're going to take a loss early or even have the opportunity to take a loss because they don't want to lose their meal ticket. And you can understand it.
I can understand it from a business perspective, but I also think that the pendulum swings, and that's how it goes. And now the pendulum has swung so heavy to everyone protecting the zero of being undefeated that it's actually time for that pendulum to swing back the other direction. And if people can focus on that pendulum, if I was one of the promoters, I would focus on my fighters fight everybody, and they give you exciting fights. Win, lose, or draw. Because honestly, I don't really think the public cares anywhere near as much about a guy being undefeated as
or getting knocked down. I don't even understand. You're in the fight game, and then people are worried about you getting knocked down or losing.
Well, this is like baseball. People, were forever embarrassed about striking out as players. And now that pendulum has swung, but now that pendulum has swung the other direction, and guys are willing to strike out 200 times a year.
And it brought the game down.
It's brought the game down and hit 200 something.
Yeah.
All because they're worried about launch angle.
Okay, but now you're talking about if you want to correlate that with boxing, if somebody loses, then they can get a rematch and come back and fight. It's not like you're playing 162 games.
Speaking of which, that's exactly what your boy the Crusher is doing. Sergey Kovalev got knocked out by Eliter Alvarez, and that was actually a really, really interesting fight to watch because I thought he was winning the fight until he got knocked out, and that kid wasn't impressed. And from what they're reporting, is that he's going to exercise his rematch. I thought he should retire because the way that it looked, I don't think he's got work for this kid now.
Well, this is what goes on, though. The guys get older. You don't want to give it up. And just like we saw Klitschko fight against Joshua, your heart wants to do it, but your body won't let you. You don't have the reflexes and everything. And your power is starting to diminish a little bit. And now all of a sudden you're hitting a guy, and usually you get him out of there, and he's still standing there like, you ready now?
Right.
Now the Crusher's in a little trouble.
Yeah. He was in a lot of trouble.
Crush your skull.
Body blow.
Knock him out.
Knock him out. Yeah, and so with that, there's you have that fight. We have a fight. A friend of the Ozone is fighting on the 8th.
And who's that?
Showtime Sean Porter.
Oh, that's my man.
I was rewatching some of the Sean Porter footage.
Uh-huh.
And Sean is so aggressive. He's such a warrior, but he has a tendency to smother his own punches. And I'm very interested to see what Danny does to combat that. I think that's going to be actually a much better fight than the buzz that it's getting right now.
Right, and this is a tough fight, too, because this is something that I actually can't put my finger on because of the styles. They're so
different.
Man, they're so different that it
Danny
matters how they prepare. It's all about how the preparation.
And then it's going to matter who can adjust within the fight.
Right, because I don't really see anybody getting knocked out. I mean, somebody might get knocked down.
Yeah.
But Danny Garcia's never been knocked down.
I was going to say, it's hard to get Danny off his feet.
But if somebody's going to get him off his feet, it would be somebody like Sean Porter because he's a little bit smaller than he is. He'll be able to work inside and work that body, and maybe he can wear him down a little bit and get him off his feet.
But he's got to get in there.
Yeah, and then catch him with something, because the best shots are the one that you don't see. And maybe he can catch him and get him off balance and knock him down. But it's a tough fight. I mean, this is a really, really tough one to pick.
Tough one to call. Might have to sneak out there to Brooklyn and go take that one in. That should be a good fight. Might have Kenny Porter on the pod next week, folks. I want to talk to Kenny about the training and see where we're going on that and see how it's moving. In other boxing news, we got that the Golden Boy prodigy who's ready to step up in talent competition level that we went and spoke to Oscar about, Ryan Garcia versus Carlos Morales. And you know what? This should be a good test, and after this is going to be time for him to get into the deep water if he can get Carlos Morales out of there. I spoke with Carlos, and he actually said he's going to shake up the world. So I'm looking forward to that on the first. And now the big boys have made their fight. So Tyson Fury is going to fight Wilder, and in all honesty, I'd like for Deontay Wilder to bomb squad Tyson Fury. I'd like him to knock him out.
I would like him to knock him out and get him out the game, but
I don't. But I have something inside of me telling me it's not going to happen.
That's the way I'm feeling, and not only that, I feel like he's going to give him a problem.
I think he's going to give him a problem with all of his awkwardness.
Yeah.
Although I have not been impressed with Tyson Fury at all in his comeback
terrible.
fights.
He looks terrible, but
he looks like he needs maybe one more.
But as we heard from
fight.
Deontay, he fights down, and that's a problem. That's a problem, and he's not the type of guy that you fight down to.
No,
because he'll steal your belt,
which is exactly what he did with Klitschko,
and which is exactly what he's trying to do right now.
Yeah, and it's a wise move. I have to say, he's got to be one of the most savvy promoters going, because he snuck right in there when Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua didn't get the job done with Wilder. He stepped right in there, and now the good thing that we're going to see out of this situation is he's actually going to bring Wilder's profile up as far as his fans go,
right?
Because Wilder is always going to come to fight. And Tyson Fury has a nation on his back as well, being the Gypsy. Now, with the King Kong Ortiz knockout that just took place, he's right back in the running in the heavyweight situation as well. Yeah, even though I'm with you. I don't think he's actually a major threat, but he's also not somebody that people are in a rush to fight.
That's what I was going to say. Who wants to actually fight him? He can put you out, but you know what? I don't feel like if he fought an Anthony Joshua type, I feel like Anthony Joshua would probably get him out of there early, just because he has crazy power in both of his hands and he's fundamentally sound. Because being fundamentally sound in the style of boxing and boxing in general is just way underrated. You know what I'm saying? Everybody goes with fluff or
flash,
and flash. But when you're fundamentally sound in the sweet science, man, it's a problem. You can actually put people out quick.
Yeah.
You swell them up. Kidney, liver, organ.
If you haven't seen it, go watch a wonderful documentary on boxing called Facing Ali. That was our Ken Norton impersonation. So that's going down. Jose, just over the weekend, Ray Beltran was super billed to make some noise and in his fight against Pedraza, and it was totally and completely lopsided. It was a one-sided fight. Pedraza did his work, and now they're talking Pedraza-Lomachenko in December. And, it's going to be interesting because, like you were saying, the stables that are taking place seem to be breaking down somewhat, but Bob Arum still has a tight rein on his, and that's what he's doing.
Yeah, well, he's old school. He's not going to just let it relinquish like that.
Yep. We got a comeback fight coming up with Amir Khan. Very excited about that. Amir's a really nice guy. I hope he can get back in the game at the proper weight class.
I feel like Amir should just wrap his up. He's done enough. He's
done enough.
Yeah, and he's a respectable fighter. But you hang around in the sport of boxing, and
then someone will retire you.
And somebody will retire you, and we've seen it happen to a bunch of good guys.
Man, I hate that.
Yeah, and you just look at it and it's like, wow, come on, man, just stop. Stop it already. Knock it off.
Just knock it off.
You got to knock it off, or he'll knock it off for you.
Well, the big one that we're waiting on, folks, HBO pay-per-view boxing. Triple G, the champion, Gennady Golovkin, is in the rematch against Canelo Cinnamon Alvarez. And the undercard shaped up really, really well. David Lemieux and Spike O'Sullivan are going to be great. I like Spike O'Sullivan in that fight. That young kid, Jaime Munguia, is going to be in there against Brandon Cooks. I'm hoping that kid actually becomes something. Can't wait to get to Vegas. Happy to be back on the mic. And we will be more consistent because we love you. That's all I got in the OZone. You got anything to add?
Nah.
I'm going to leave you with a quote from one of my favorites. And if you don't have it, go buy his book of his quotes. He was a fantastic coach, arguably the coach of the century. And Stone Cold winner, and he made a lot of boys into men over in Westwood at UCLA. The quote is from Mr. John Wooden. If you don't have time to do it right, when would you have time to do it over? Something to put on your mind, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Omar Miller. I'm here with my brother Terry, live from Koreatown. This is the Ozone.
Ozone.
I'm just living the dream.